From allmediareviews.blogspot.com. So, of course, I made that video last week about the Kevin Gilbert, The Shaming of the True, and I mentioned how I put in a few orders, and I did receive them. Was it Monday or Tuesday? The first one, the limited edition, which I'll just. Jeez, that's not good. I'll show what I got. I got this, and I got number 1014. I haven't opened it. I've been kind of patiently waiting to get the other ones in, just to do like a whole extensive, reveal, etc. But the overall impressions of most people are just absolutely in awe of it, which I believe I will be as well. So, but yeah, I mean, my package for at least one. I got 2 more packages coming from the state. It's another record, the standard edition, and then another hat, not this hat, but and then some T-shirts. I think that's it. But hopefully, and then maybe I'll try to do a comparison. So next week sometime, hopefully, I'll be able to break down and talk about this and the differences with the package, all this stuff, and oh, I forgot. I didn't even bring up. I'll maybe show that too. The package actually has a picture of the Johnny Virgil on it, like right there. It's interesting. I'm gonna have to keep that package maybe just for at least part of it. I'll just like cut it out. But and the other part to that, beyond doing a few more Kevin Gilbert videos that I mentioned I haven't done, like a songs list, and then talking about, I have been listening to the Thud Anniversary Edition multi-disc. Is the Toy Matinee vinyl, which it's released supposedly April 1st. It's coming from Europe, from this place, limited edition or something like that. So sometime in mid-April, maybe, sometime around that. I don't know if I'll have time. Maybe that week that I'm off, before we go see the Monkees, I'm seeing ours. I'll find a way to do like a Kevin Gilbert vinyl update, maybe show the best of the best of all the Kevin Gilbert vinyl collection in effect. So what this video is going to be, instead of talking about the Shaming of the True in depth and everything, and I want to thank anyone who's like finding this video or the videos I did posted last week. A guy named Frank Dick Dave, especially. I've been kind of going on to Discord, which is like the new platform. It's not that new, but it's relatively new. He's created a small little Kevin Gilbert channel on there, which maybe some more people could find it at some point. But, of course, today is March 4th, 2022, the release date for a bunch of albums. The biggies, of course, being, I mentioned Cloud Cult's album Metamorphosis and the Marillion album An Hour Before It's Dark. And there's some other news. So I'll get to that. Let me just do the news part first. So next week, Team Me's album comes out. I was going to mention also. That's the last sort of big release for me for a little while. Team Me, the Norwegian band who resembles, among other bands, Mew. I really love them, though. I'm glad that they put on the first record since 2014. It's called, it's a weird title. It sounds like it's a working title almost. What is it? March 11th. Something in the making. The Major Parkinson live album's coming out next week, too. But we got some big news. They put out a thing on Twitter the other day, and they put out a record a couple years ago, and I need to buy another copy of this because this copy is not in good shape. I wonder if I could do that because it's like creased and stuff. But Pure Reason Revolution, their comeback record they put out in 2020, Eupnia, was pretty well received, although everything with COVID kind of prevented its thunder or stole its thunder or whatever. But they put out a new song today, and the new album that's going to be coming out, announced the new album's going to be coming out May 6th, despite everything that's going on in the world right now. It's called Above Cirrus, 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 Above Cirrus. Interesting cover with a dog on it and stuff. I mean, I didn't even read the press release, a little like John Courtney adds, very excited for get the first of our new material out there in 2022. This was the first track. The first track was shared, the second, The New Kind of Evil, which is, it's similar in style to this. It's notable that Greg Jung, I guess, who was on the Dark Third and then left the band. He was on some of this. He's now a full member of the band, I guess. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's 7 tracks. I didn't. Again, I'm guilty in that I haven't read this press release. Halftime shuffle beat. But sorry, with the band continues many of the musical through lines that fans have come to expect, maintaining a balance between somber reflection and intrepid exploration, leading listeners through a shape-shifting collection of 7 tracks that evoke a range of emotions. On the songs are Prism, A New Kind of Evil. The energy reaches magnificent heights of guitar-led catharsis, rivaling the best efforts of acts like Tool and Filter, while offering in Lucid and Dead Butterfly keyboard-centric. I don't know, the new song is it's like 8 or 9 minutes, something like that, and it gets heavy at times, similar to some of the stuff on here and the Dark. I mean, I don't know if it's kind of they've gone back to their initial style with the Dark Third and they're kind of just sticking to that. I don't know. I'm still happy with it, totally happy with it. But I can definitely say that I did enjoy when they went from the Dark Third to Avia Amor, Vincent Omnia, and then even the last record, Hammer Anvil, before they end up splitting or going on hiatus. I should do a separate. I did a video on Pure Reason Revolution years ago. I should do another one and update it just to give more details, given the fact we got another record coming. Maybe around the time that this record Above Cirrus comes out, I will. So that comes out May 6th. So I know that the Foals album is going to come up, but I mean, I would talk about the releases for today, but they don't have physical copies. So first of all, the Cloud Cult album has been online. I talked about it briefly in the last video. It's on their website to stream for I don't know how long. I've been streaming it for the past 4 days. And I was given the track list. Totally wrong about that. The track list was much longer. It's 12 songs. The Cloud Cult album, Metamorphosis. And I am really liking a lot of it. I mean, I was correct in that it was still with a lot of folk elements, maybe more than some of their recent records. But the orchestral elements, there's still some sort of big chorus gang, multi-tracked vocals, chorus vocals, gang vocals per se. Not as much as some of the records, but the flow of it, there's some melodies. The song Out of a Hole, which was the first single they put out a month ago, hearing it now again, it's an earworm. I totally love that song. It's like No Hell and some other ones they've done where it's just, after you're done listening to the album, you can still hear it. The second half of it especially, I think is stronger, is really strong. The first half works, but it gets more energetic. I'd say, from Lady of the Hill, Victor, Ascension, Song from Oblivion, Bigger Than Me. I will try to do a more in-detailed review of it soon. Hopefully, maybe next week. I mean, even though I'm talking about it right now, it's on release date. But the other piece of news that I mentioned it more than once. I think my internet might be actually working up here. They will never put out vinyl. Well, and they did with the last album, The Seeker. I should probably have my copy and showing it. Not true. They're not putting out a compact disc, apparently, or at least they're not mentioning that. But it's saying this is the first album. This is the 12th Cloud Cult album, I believe, total. The first album that they've never. Let's see if I can find the exact right. This is our first record out of 12 that we are not currently planning to make physical copies of. That is to say, the music industry has changed in massive ways since we first started releasing albums. We do hope, going back to Who Killed Puck, when was it, 2000, 99, 2000, 2001, it was 2000. We do hope to release this on vinyl in the not-too-distant future, but we are still trying to nail down an ecological manufacturing process that is both good for the environment and the audiophiles. So, I don't know, maybe they had second thoughts. Maybe on the Patreon they've discussed this. Fans have asked about this constantly. And I think the way they released The Seeker, they did find a way to do it environmentally, ecologically safe and non-harmful. And so maybe it's a way of the future, at least for some people, some vinyl manufacturing and stuff like that. So I don't know. If I had to guess, if they are to pull this off, it will be in limited quantity, maybe a couple thousand, maybe 5,000 tops. There's a huge following just in the state of Minnesota here that there'd be demand for it. But even so, when that happens, I mean, I know The Seeker came out, the CD came out first. The Seeker came out on vinyls like maybe 4, 5, 6 months after. It was the summer or the fall. It was not right away. It was a big deal. I got the picture disc and everything. If I just had to guess, I mean, I have no idea. Just have to guess in terms of the manufacturing, planning, the cost, and the time it requires to actually produce vinyl, and especially in this way, the way that they're trying to figure out. We could be sitting here 3 years from now and still not out. Someday it may come out. It could come out later this year or maybe next year. If I had to just a guess, maybe a speculation would be sometime maybe next year. But who knows? Regardless of that, Metamorphosis is a terrific record, and again, I'll try to elaborate more on that, hopefully in a video next week. Just go track by track. So the other biggie, obviously, and I got a couple more to mention after this, is the Marillion album, An Hour Before It's Dark, which the short end of it is, the short story of it is, it was found, some people found it, and then eventually put up online in a format of 18 tracks. But the actual album itself is only 7 songs, or seven songs total. Hold on. So, yeah, they're sweet. The whole album, you know, I got it. I got both versions of it. I got my pre-order, which I'll be getting my CD probably pretty soon is signed. The vinyl I got via Amazon that's colored probably will be in the next couple weeks. I'm off in a week and change, so maybe I'll have it by that point and I can do a more detailed review. But yeah, it's like it's amazing. Be Hard on Yourself is a suite of 3 tracks. Reprogram the Gene is a suite of 3 tracks. Sierra Leone, or Leone, is a suite of 5 tracks. And Care, the closing 4 tracks, is a suite of 4 tracks. So between that and then The Crow and the Nightingale, Murder Machines, Only a Kiss is 39 seconds, ends up being 18 tracks on like streaming services, Spotify. Why did they do that? I don't know if the band themselves really had any interest or chose to do that, but the streaming services will get paid more money because they stream more tracks, in effect. So, but the download they gave to the pre-orders yesterday and Thursday was just the 7 tracks with, you know, the last 2 tracks, of course, you know, Sierra Leone and Care being almost 11 minutes and 15 minutes and 20 seconds, 10:54. So, it's getting a fair amount of praise, a little bit like the Tears for Fears record, The Tipping Point. And I am enjoying it. And of course, they're my favorite band. I have like sort of both a hope and a want to believe I will be blown away by it. At the same time, I can't lie to myself and I have to be at least somewhat objective. I'm liking it, but I'm not. I'm getting a reaction similar to what I got from Fear, which is weird. The Fear album. The interviews we're talking about how different the interviews with some of the band members over the last X number of months, like going back to last summer and fall, we're saying how it was very much of a different, like a more energetic, if not upbeat record, and at least the energetic part may be kind of true. And my initial impressions is Sierra Leone is my favorite part. I don't know, say like maybe the first couple parts of it, but just the track itself. Be Hard on Yourself I really like. I'm kind of warming up to the track The Crow and the Nightingale. But you know, I've only listened to it a couple times, so this isn't really a review exactly. This is just sort of an initial impression. It's a reaction in some ways. But I kind of have come to the point with Marillion, I was thinking about prolificness. They've released 3 records in the last 10 years. The previous 10 years, they released something like 5 or 6. The previous 10 years before that, they released like 6. So they're taking their time, but they're also, their style and their approach to a lot of writing music and composing music is different. I think that they're more emphasizing wall of sound, atmosphere, mood, and sort of almost like they're a post-rock band in some ways, leading up to certain moments, which are the best parts of those songs and often the record. Fear was similar in that sense. You look at the way their records were in the 80s and 90s especially, and while they had a lot of that too, the songs didn't really require as much patience, I guess. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but I don't know. I mean, you think about the album like Happiness of the Road is a lot of different songs, but like Sounds That Can't Be Made, Fear, even the overall kind of approach and sonic approach. It's a lot of it is like they're doing like the Pink Floyd Wall of Sound thing as much as anything. I mean, Rothery and Mark Kelly to an extent have driven that, but and the producer Mike Hunter, I would imagine, at least is involved in some way. But I'm just I'm liking it, but I mean I'm feeling like these two records, Marillion and Cloud Cult. The Cloud Cult album, at least I can just sort of latch onto a little bit more. Although given my hopes and almost expectations, or at least my my feelings about how much interest I have in both those records, and the tipping point from Tears for Fears, I'm not blown away by any of these records that much. But I will say that I'll give it some time. At least there's other records coming, but this was sort of the big peak period of the early part of the year. The Team Me record that I was just mentioning is coming out. That's a big deal next week for me. But then, there's other stuff still coming out. It's just, I guess I'm kind of coming to grips that Marillion, my favorite band, may never kind of floor me again, They might. Sometimes they surprise me, and I doubt that. That's what happened with Marbles. I was starting to doubt them. But I look back on that and love Marbles, and like Anarachnophobia and Marillion.com, I would love a record like that too, so... But, An Hour Before the Dark is getting really really good reception, really well received. Rate Your Music, the original average rating was like 4.3 out of 5, and it dropped like 4.04. If my internet is working up here, I could check it again. I checked it. Was it yesterday I checked it? Let's see if this is working. I don't think it... Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's like something happened with... My mother-in-law's internet wasn't working, and then it started working again after months. My wife was thinking maybe it has something to do with the weather. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's my computer and the weather. I don't know. But welcome change, I guess, if I'm actually able to access stuff online up here again without having to, mess around with the Wi-Fi extender. There was one other item. I mean, King's X, I saw an interview with Ty Tabor I passed along the other day that their album is finished, and they actually have a release date. They just can't announce it yet. So whether it be this spring, this summer, this fall, it is coming. It's just a matter of, when and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a big Friday. There's another record related to King's X I should have just mentioned. Ty Tabor's last solo album, first album in like 4 or 5 years, called Shade, just came out today too. I've listened to the first single I liked. I haven't listened to the rest of it. But yeah, so it's kind of a little bit of a holiday today. I can mention, unfortunately, with my exploration into Blake 7, it's getting moved. It's with my luck. Blake 7 got moved to BritBox through Amazon, and I don't have access to BritBox. I just have to sign up for that. So I don't know how much Blake 7 reviews. Some of the episodes are on YouTube and some other sites, but I may have to buy it or something at some point. Yeah, this thing, I don't know why Rate Your Music isn't working for me. There it is. So you go and let's see, as of Friday afternoon, about 2:30 in the afternoon, what is the new Marillion record rated at? Is it changed again? 3.59. I don't want it. I mean, I went and gave it a rating of 4 stars. I kind of do that by just naturally. Part of it was my feelings that, a lot of people are liking it. I'd like to see more attention for it. Yeah, and then some negative comments in the chat box. But yeah, I mean... Yeah, you got 58 ratings. When it was at 4.3, you probably had a dozen ratings, and 4.04 was probably like 20. So, but I don't know. It's a big deal. It's the first album in 6 years, so it should be just like a holiday event for me. And when I get the record, I'll show more of it and probably talk a little more about it. Maybe bring in my other collection and start to see where it falls. But anyway, what's your take on the new Marillion album, An Hour Before It's Dark? If you listen to it, are you just trying to get used to it? Are you blown away by it? Are you kind of thinking it's like Fear? A lot of people didn't like Fear. A lot of people loved it. What's your take on the Cloud Cult album, Metamorphosis? Again, if you don't know Cloud Cult, definitely one to check out, or check out some of their other records. They did a special thing on Facebook yesterday. But, yeah, and what else are you looking forward to in the next coming weeks, months? Porcupine Tree, Foals, of course, everything, Warpaint. I had the list. I just had the list pulled up. Let's see here. It's not a long list for me. There's a lot of stuff. Oddlands coming out. When I was talking about the list of stuff coming out recently, I didn't mention that. Friday releases, of course. Yeah, it's major, like I said, major Parkinson's. Midlake, for the sake of Bethel Woods, is coming on the 18th of March. Then you got, let's see here. I mean, there's other stuff that people are interested in. Meshuggah, Pattern Seeking Animals, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dream Theater and Beyond, live in Japan. Bjorn Reese, I'm interested in that. Everything to Everyone. I've never listened to Airbag, his main band, but his solo stuff is very similar to like Porcupine Tree, like 2000s Porcupine Tree. The good riffs, good flow. Block Party's Alpha Games is coming out. The Gathering, Beautiful Distortion, that's in the end of April. And then May is looking up to be a really good month. Pure Reason Revolution, Above Cyrus, I just mentioned. Warpaint, Radiate Like This on the 6th, both on the 6th of May. And then on the 20th, you have Everything's Raw Data Feel. You also have Evergrey's Heartless Symphony. Haven't been really into them in a long time. And then the 27th of May, Coheed and Cambria's Vaxis 2, A Window of the Waking Mind. And then on June 17th, Foals, Life Is Yours. I'm kind of not called concerned, but kind of expecting not to really go for the new Foals as much because they lost their keyboard player and they're going more of in a dance poppy direction, like overtly. I don't know. We'll see. Porcupine Tree's album closure / continuation, which the track was just given on the 24th of June. So, yeah, like I said, there's other stuff always showing up every week or two, every couple days. That King's X record I'm very, very curious about. The Deer Hunter album has been finished, I guess. So that Antimai, that's going to come out. And the announcement's probably going to happen in the next couple of months. It could be sooner. Dirt Poor Robin's Queen of the Night. That's the other thing I was going to add. This past week they put out the 3rd episode. It was Monday of Queen of the Night. And I think that one of the songs is called Enchante, the first track that was used in the episode. I think that might be the best song of 2022 right now. I absolutely love this track. They're going to put out an album with it, though, I believe. This is the 3rd episode. They've got like 6 songs they've released on their Bandcamp. So the other song they put out was called Carousel, or Carousel, C-A-R-R. It's got to be Carousel. Hold You Down. Yeah, Dirt Poor Robins. So, I mean, this stuff is certain. The other thing I just saw is Salvage Enterprise from Polyphonic Spree. They're doing some kind of performance of it in a few weeks in their native Texas. I'm not going to be able to go to that, but that would suggest the album itself is going to be coming out pretty soon. They're going to have information on that. So it's been 2, 3, 4 years. There's a big cartel site for it. There was a Kickstarter for it. It's going to come out just a matter of when they're going to put it out at the right time. Kind of like the King's X album. We don't even have a title. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff in the pipeline. Carnival, they're doing more dates. I'm on the assumption Carnival is going to be putting on a record this year, or sometime in the next year and a half, 2 years. It's been since 2013 since their last record. So, but anyway, thank you for watching. If you found the channel, thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed, and we'll see you next time.